Time for rolling.
The right targets. That is one trade. T-Tigers is still pretty healthy. Tries to jump in. He finds one. This is a big turnaround for Liberation X. They might get the third. They might find an ace here onto Lost Boytov. Surrey Strike is not enough. Donna goes down. He might go for Donna Clips. He's gonna get one. He's gonna get two. Lost Boytov.
Lost Boytov. He does it. He gets the 2 versus 1 turnaround under the turret.
He lives
man
too.
is a god. That gauntlet was...
Welcome to Time for Rolling Esports, the weekly podcast that brings you Vainglory Esports. From predictions to recaps and analysis, we present to you the best in professional Vainglory. Now here's your hosts, Endless and Crude. It's
Time for rolling.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Endless here. Before we get into today's show, I'm going to tell you about some sponsors and friends of ours over here at Time for Rolling Esports. Really great people. The first group I want to talk about is Mobile Esports. This company is a company that focuses on all things mobile gaming. They run community events, they run tournaments, all based around mobile titles like Critical Ops, Clash Royale, and of course Vainglory. They are just now starting to get into Vainglory. This will be their first tournament on December 9th. It's going to be a small tournament on that Saturday. It's going to be a fun time. We're really excited to get Mobile Esports more involved in Vainglory, as I personally believe Vainglory is one of the biggest mobile titles out there. So make sure you can follow them on Twitter, at esports_mobile, or you can go to their webpage, mobileesports.org. You can check out their webpage. They have a lot of great things there. They're just really great company, and I cannot wait to get them more involved in Vainglory. Of course, on their website, you can find their other tournaments if you are interested in like Critical Ops, Clash Royale, those type of titles. They'll be expanding to other games as well once more. Great mobile titles like maybe Rules of Survival. I know a lot of the Vainglory community right now is playing that game. Another great friend of ours here at Time for Rolling Esports is the North American Champions League. The NACL is one of the best tournaments in the Vainglory community right now, run by some great people. This league has been running for multiple seasons. It has given teams like, of course, Vision Gaming the chance to get their start, to get some attention and a place for them to try to reach that Vainglory 8. So, of course, if you have a team that you think can compete well, maybe go ahead and follow them at NA Champ League, and also you can subscribe to their YouTube and Twitch. Keep up with them there, and maybe you can sign up your team in the future tournaments that will be happening. So NA Champ League, really excited also to be doing a lot of things with them. That is all we have when it comes to sponsors and friends. This episode is going to be awesome, fun time, a lot of great conversation. Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Time for Rolling Esports, episode 60. We have reached 60. I feel like it was not long ago that we were at episode 50, but we've sped through 10 episodes. I'm joined with my co-host, as always, Crude Sloth.
What's up, man? Yeah, it's going by really quick. We're gonna be at 100 before you even know it.
Oh, dude, 100's gonna be crazy. Definitely 5v5 coming. So this episode, guys, I'm so excited to bring to you these episodes. We're gonna do a mini series for the few weeks leading up to Worlds. We have teamed up with VGPRO for this mini series. We're gonna showcase some fantastic community members in the Vainglory world. We're gonna talk about their picks. We're gonna release their bracket on our page. You're gonna see a lot of different community members' picks. Maybe some troll picks, maybe some certain teams some of these people are cheering for. So we're really thankful to have Forever and VGPRO on board with this mini series. But our first guest, I've been waiting forever to talk to this man.
Drum roll, please.
It's been a long time coming, but we have the analyst from Echo Fox, BrutalTurtle. How's it going?
Let's go.
I'm super hyped. Wait. It's a radio, but are you dabbing right now? I don't know. People can't see you dab.
I am indeed. They just have to know it in their soul.
Right.
I hope you can feel it. I give you a really nice dab right there.
Yeah, he's known as the dab master on like social media and everything. I don't know. Did that start at your guys' little meetups you do in Toronto? I'm assuming.
Well, I guess the first major dab video that we put out, I definitely did quite a bit of dabbing in my past throughout all my teams that I was on. I was quoted easily through the term dab. Even though they couldn't see me, they could really feel the energy surging through the Discord
Oh, right.
whenever I'd
Yes.
hit that dab after I kill. And I'd vocalize it too, so they were on the same page. But yeah, LA, that was when I hit that big dab with Max Green.
Okay.
That was a nice clip right there. And then from there on out, I think that's where I became the dab king of VG.
All right, fair enough. Dab King, he's got a lot of other great things under his belt. He's been in the Vainglory community for a long time, but we are here specifically to be talking about Vainglory Worlds. This is our second Worlds. Last year, 2016 was a big time for Vainglory. The Worlds was exciting, but I think this year Worlds is gonna be insane. Gonna oversee the hype from 2016. How excited are you for not 5v5? Let's not talk about that yet. About Worlds.
I'm super, super excited. I loved watching Worlds last year, and I'm looking forward to staying up late and watching it this year.
Right. So let's get right into it. Some of this discussion. We'll go through your groups, proceed on to the next rounds. Maybe talk about, a little speculation about if we had to pick some teams to be the underdog, maybe who would make a late run. We'll get into all that later. But Group A, let's start with it right away. Obviously, we saw the group drawings. Cloud9, let me read the Group A real quick. Cloud9, Elite 8, and Red Candace, which is technically now, what is it? Is it
I think it's Pain Gaming or Team Pain.
Pain? There you go.
Yeah.
So
Pain.
they have acquired Red Candace since then. So a new team is acquired. Obviously, the last team that was acquired right before Worlds was, Phoenix Armada, and they won. So who knows? That could continue.
That would be quite the upset.
But yeah, Group A was kind of seen as this probably the easiest, quote unquote, easiest group in out of all the four groups. I don't know if you want to go ahead and pick who your top two are, who's going to make it on, and what your thoughts of Group A are.
Yeah, I think Cloud9 is going to have no problem taking this group as number one. I just think that they're a stellar team, and they have a good chance of going all the way with Worlds and taking the championship. As for second place, I think this is where the tough choice is. I don't know a whole lot about Elite 8. I know a little bit about Red Cannons. I don't think that Red Cannons will beat Elite 8, but there definitely is that potential.
Right.
It's hard to say, as those teams are very unknown, I guess, to me as an NA player.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a few clips here and there. They're definitely both have a lot of potential going into this, and it'll be really cool to see that matchup.
All right, so Group A, kind of the easier group. Group B, not too crazy yet. So let's talk about Group B real quick. Detonation, G2 Esports, Team Kraken. How you feel about Group B?
I definitely think top two are going to be Detonation and G2 without a doubt.
Yep.
I wasn't actually expecting Team Kraken to make it in from China, but last Worlds, China didn't perform too hot, so I don't really have very high expectations for them as a region, but it will be cool to see how Team Kraken performs against these two powerhouses. I think G2 is a very strong team, and I also think Detonation is a really strong team, but I'm going to give the edge to Detonation here. I think EA is a fantastic region, and Detonation has been killing it over there, so I think they'll come with that number one spot in Group B.
Is EU as quote unquote easy that we've seen them in the past, or do you think that this EU team that is representing the full region is the best chance they have?
I actually think EU has improved and closed the gap a lot over the past year, but I still don't think that they're quite at the level of NA. I definitely think G2 has a lot of potential. It just depends on their execution at the live event.
A lot of people were split between SK and G2 coming in that last weekend. Were you Team SK or Team G2?
I'll be honest, I was Team SK.
All right, fair enough.
But I do think G2 is a very strong team, and they earned that spot.
It's crazy that EU only has one team in there. Like
it is. It really is.
I don't know.
Hopefully, we'll see more next Worlds.
Yeah, I guess that's the whole downfall of having the Unify. They're trying to, I don't know. They're basically pushing out EU. I get that because they want the best teams at Worlds, but still having one EU team is kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, at least there's a good chance of them making out of this group.
Right.
That'll be a big jump for EU.
So yeah, Group C, we got Rox Armada, Tribe, and Imputiny. This is going to be a pretty strong group here. I feel like. BrutalTurtle, what's your thoughts on Group C?
I think that it'll really come down to those number 1 and 2 spots between Tribe and Rox. I don't know who will take each spot respectively. I kind of am sticking with my NA roots, and I want to say Tribe's going to come on top. Rox hasn't had the best past over the course of the year with losing Willie. But it'll be really interesting to see how they perform on stage. They may come in very energized after such a successful performance at the last Worlds. But Tribe, on the other hand, they've been a powerhouse in NA. They're really on the rise, and they're killing it right now. You've got Zio with his live event buff coming into play. I think it'll be really cool to watch. Impunity, on the other hand, I don't really think they stand a whole lot of a chance against these two powerhouses. But if they manage to pull off an upset, that'll be huge.
Yeah, I agree.
So Group C and Group D. Obviously, Group D was kind of deemed the quote unquote group of death, but a lot of people are kind of fighting for Group C as well. Do you think Group C is going to be just as competitive as Group D?
I really think that Group C will. Yeah, I agree. In terms of Group D, I think that the top two are pretty well set. I think for the majority of the brackets, you can even say all four. The top two are pretty easy to guess, except for the order. The order isn't. I feel like there's always two teams here that stand out in each of the brackets, opposed to the third. So I guess it's hard to really qualify one of them as the death group.
Yeah, the big factor will be is like what with Druid as far as Rocks to see how strong that team is coming out and see if they actually if they can kind of make it seem like that may be the group of death there. But
definitely
we'll have to see how they perform. But yeah, like Endless said, Group D, we got Ace Gaming, Team Solo Mid, and Hunters rounding out the final group. What are your thoughts on this Group D then?
I think this will be one of my favorite groups to watch. TSM and Ace. That's going to be an interesting matchup. We had the Mobile Masters where TSM did go against Ace and beat them. Ace did just make a big roster change by getting rid of Sosa with him retiring, which is really unfortunate because I feel like he was the powerhouse of Ace. He was that star player, the glue of the team that kept them alive. You could see his gorgeous plays all over Twitter. Even watching him at Mobile Masters was really a treat. Just his composure and his posture while he played. It was nothing like I've ever seen before. He was just so poised and prepared for almost anything in those fighting situations. So here I'm going to give the edge to TSM. Hunters, I don't think they're really that much of a contender here. But I'd love to see them come in as an underdog and pull something off. It's definitely possible now that Ace has changed up their roster. I don't know how strong they're going to be coming into this, but I'm sure that with some good practice, they'll be able to hopefully replace Sosa and come in strong when they hit Worlds. So I'm definitely giving number 1 to TSM here, number 2 to Ace, and 3 to Hunters.
Yeah, that's something we'll probably talk about later on is it seems like the EA rosters, they've all been changing recently, but we've seen NA kind of stick to their same roster. So maybe later on we'll discuss whether that's a big advantage for NA or if maybe that's not really going to affect EA at all. Maybe they'll still perform just as well. But that was the group stages. If we review one more time, just make sure everyone remembers, Group A was Cloud9 Elite 8, Detonation, and G2 for Group B. Group C, he has Tribe and Rox. Group D is Team Solo Mid and Ace. I think I said Group B backwards, did I? Detonation, G2? I don't know.
You're right. You're
okay,
right.
Good.
No, yeah, you're right.
So those are his people, the teams moving on. We will move on in the bracket here, go on to match 1, which is going to be Cloud9 versus Ace, NA versus EA. Ace is coming out of the Team Solo Mids bracket, so they've already gone through some strong matchups. Cloud9, of course, quote unquote, had easier group play. Is Cloud9 going to be ready for this first maybe real competition?
See, that's definitely a good point that you bring up there. Is Ace, they're definitely going to have to pour their sweat and tears into that first group stage where Cloud9, they're not going to have to bring their top level of play. So hopefully they are prepared for this. I'm giving the edge to Cloud9 here, as I do think that they are a fantastic team who definitely has a major shot at winning this whole thing. Ace, there's a lot of uncertainty with them coming into this tournament with the big roster change. I think Ace, if it was the full team during their prime, it'd be a complete split, 50-50 split. But I'm definitely giving the edge here to Cloud9.
Yeah, I think that's the best chance. Just Cloud9, two unified champions. They're coming into Worlds as probably I would say the favorites. It's their tournament to lose. A lot of people think it's their tournament to lose, so that'll be a good first match for them. I think match 2 is Tribe versus G2, NA versus EU. We've seen this quite often. Maybe not as big of a decision to be made here in this match 2.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of NA versus EU. If G2 wins this, that'll be a pretty crazy upset, and it'll spark definitely a big battle between the regions once again on Twitter. But I definitely give the edge here to Tribe. Without a doubt, I'm a huge Tribe fan. I think TTigers is an incredible jungler. He puts so much into his jungling and his mechanics that I think that once he's paired up with Zio, who's another powerhouse at these live events, and Max there to support them, I don't think there's anything that can really stop them, especially not G2. G2 is a fantastic team, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're quite at the level of Tribe.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I don't think that G2 will be able to handle Zio's live buff, that
Scarf.
stage.
If he plays that Scarf, he always plays Scarf at live events for some reason.
And it's always so OP.
It's always OP.
You're very right on that.
But if we go back, was it summer when Tribe was Immortals and the first time an NA team lost was G2? G2 beat Immortals when it was like Suijay had a sub in and it was like all this chaos for Immortals.
That was a
right.
whole different team.
Yeah, that was a whole different team, but last time G2 was the one team to take down the NA team. If we
You're right.
So who knows? But yeah, I think Tribe is probably the good answer there. We'll have to see if G2 comes out swinging. Dark Potato Hundor as a great jungle and lane duo, just as TTigers and Dinzio maybe. So match 3 is Detonation versus Rox Armada. EA versus EA. Detonation's more of the Japan region there, but both EA technically. This is gonna be. I think this will be a good matchup. This will really show.
I think it'll be an excellent matchup. I totally agree.
Yeah, it's gonna show which EA team is most dominant. I feel like.
Yeah. So here, this is a really tough matchup, and I genuinely believe it could go either way. In the past, Detonation has been extremely successful in the EA region over the course of this year, but I do think Rox will come in with a certain advantage through having this experience under their belt from winning the last Worlds. So I actually gave the edge to Rox. I'm a pretty big fan of the team, and I'd like to see them come out with some success this season again at Worlds. As for who's actually going to win, that's a very, very tough prediction to be making. But I am going to give my choice is at least Rox Armada.
So you think Druid's definitely healthy? He's going to be back with the team. It's just been a lot of questions around him and whether or not Rox is going to come out swinging like full force.
I really hope that they bring it their all, and I think that they have everything on the line here. So they will bring it their A game, but at the same time, Detonation's going to be aiming to do the same. So it's tough to say what's going to happen at the end of the day.
All right, so for our final quarterfinals matchup, you'll have Team Solo Mid against Elite 8. Obviously, Team Solo Mid being that powerhouse up against that Elite 8 that we might not know as much about, but I believe you have Team Solo Mid going on from this one, correct?
I do. If Elite 8 wins this, that's a huge upset. That's an unbelievable upset. So I'm definitely counting on TSM to win that matchup. I just think that they're the better team overall.
Team Solo Mid definitely has a lot to prove this Worlds. They've kind of fell short every live event we have, and it's time that they, maybe be like that Cloud9 team who comes out and absolutely dominates. But your semifinals here, Crude, why don't you go with this match 1 for semifinal?
So semifinals, you got Cloud9 going up against Tribe. We got NA versus NA, which I do believe you brought every single NA team into the semis so far. So
I
I'm
did
interested.
indeed.
I'm interested to see how you're going to decide which NA team gets to go make it. But so first up, you got Cloud9 against Tribe. What do you got here?
So I give the edge here to Cloud9, but I do think that this matchup as well can go either way. Tribe has been very, very hot lately, and with that live final buff on Zeo, it's really hard to say who's going to be winning this. I'm sure if Tribe does take this series, they have a very good chance of winning the whole thing. I actually think that whoever wins this match one is going to be the team that takes it all home. Cloud9, they're consistent. They've done fantastic at every live event. They play extremely clean. I think that Joseph is one of the few junglers who can beat Tigers on a semi-consistent basis. But Tigers always he brings something new to the table, and if they come up with some new rotations, anything is possible. But I'm going to give the edge to Cloud9 for this matchup.
I think if we see this matchup, Cloud9 versus Tribe, that may be one of the best series we see all of World, just because those two teams, for the most part, don't disappoint when they're on those live stages. And that's going to be a true battle of NA. Not just back. We obviously watch every weekend through the splits. NA all the time.
For sure.
We see these teams match up, but this is a whole different thing. This is a whole different story, whole different level.
It totally is.
There's so much on the line for these teams. The pressure, which player may break under the pressure, or the comps and heroes we may see, which we'll talk about that towards the end of the podcast. But we never know what they're going to pull out. But for match 2, I need to pause. We're going to wait because, there's an ambulance going by my house, so we have to wait for that to go by.
Yep. I can hear that.
Yeah, I know. It's really annoying. That's what happens when you live right next to the street and your house is built with cardboard walls, clearly. All right, so then going over to match 2 then, Rox Armada versus Team Solo Mid. This isn't a complete rematch of these teams we've seen in past history. A little different on the Rox and Team Solo Mid. They've stuck through as the same squad. They've been together for a long time. This one will be interesting. I'm interested to hear what you have about this one.
So I really think TSM is going to come out on top with this series, and the reason for that is over the past year, TSM has invested a lot of resources into researching Rox and analyzing their gameplay to figure out how to bring that to the NA meta, how to optimize their rotations based off of what Rox was doing at the past Worlds. They did not let that loss go easy, so they're going to come back fired with passion to try and take this series and show Rox who the better team is. They're going to be ready to counter rotate, counter draft. And overall, I just think TSM right now is the better team, especially at live tournaments. They know how to really give it their all. I think Mobile Masters was a testament to that when they completely demolished that tournament. So it would be nice to see them on fire again here in the semifinals.
That's the Mobile Masters is the one thing that's really keeping my hopes up for TSM, just because of they really went into that, put a lot of preparation, and they kind of just really dominated anyone that got in their way. So we'll see if that carries over to Worlds. But
that was pretty incredible. Their momentum and their ability to keep that up. I think that's something that only comes with having a roster together for so long. You just understand how to avoid tilt-based situations. A lot of teams after a long period of games, win or loss, just tend to shift towards the loss side, either continue losing or drop their win streak from one loss and tilt from there. But TSM, they just have this fantastic team dynamic going for them, and I really think that they're a powerhouse right now, and they're going to be a powerhouse at Worlds.
Yeah, the one thing I'm worried about is just that since TSM has the harder group than Cloud9, I'm worried that TSM is going to have to pull out some of their secret, those quote-unquote teams hold on to comps as late as possible.
You're right.
And I'm just afraid Cloud9 is just going to be able to pick normal picks and kind of breeze through their group and not to worry about getting too fancy. And I'm worried if TSM finds himself into trouble in their group, they're going to be pulling out a lot more comps, a lot more of their secrets that they may have to regroup later on. So I don't know. Or it could be a good thing. Maybe that they get the hard competition out of the way and they start out strong. And like you said, that momentum they'll carry on and maybe win 7 in a row or whatever it would be in this series.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, I definitely coming from an analyst perspective, when a team reveals something in a draft, it reveals a lot in terms of their thought process and why their decision making throughout the draft. A lot of teams tend to stick to certain draft patterns. But I think the cool thing about C9 and TSM, seeing as they have designated analysts, they do come with a lot prepared, so that they can change that up. And with large hero pools, there's definitely going to be a lot of creativity going into these drafts. This will be really cool to see going into the finals, that C9 TSM matchup.
Yes, you have the top dogs of the NA in the finals. I love this because obviously NA will be if your picks are correct, NA will be bringing the trophy back home. So I guess break this one down a little bit and why you obviously have stated that Cloud9 is your team to win. So I guess kind of break down why you're gonna have C9 win. What advantages do they have over TSM?
See, I think C9 is just the more consistent team currently. They've consistently been dominant number one over the past couple seasons. TSM, on the other hand, is once they get the momentum and at these live events, once they've just got everything invested, these like heavy matchups with a lot to lose, they always do give it their all. So honestly, this was probably the toughest decision I had to make throughout my whole bracket, was who's going to win this matchup. It's very, very hard to determine something like this, as I do think that they both have the potential to play a perfect match of Vainglory without any mistakes. It's really going to come down to who makes the first mistake, if any. I actually think these are going to be some of the longest Vainglory matches we'll ever see.
Oh, yeah.
Just because the teams, they're not going to give anything up. I just like Cloud9 consistently, they've been able to take these final series, looking back at Unified, and I kind of want to give them the edge through that. But TSM, if they make it this far and they have the momentum built up, they definitely have a very good chance of taking the whole thing home. Personally, as a C9 fan, I'm going to give the edge to Cloud9. Shout out to C9 Ian. Ian's been a very nice guy. He's supported me a lot over the past few seasons and guided me. So I definitely giving them the edge due to my roots, my fanship for C9 and the organization, as well as the players. But with that being said, TSM has just as good of a shot of winning this, and I think it'll be fantastic to see if it comes down to this.
So do you think it's coming down to the final game? You think it's going all the way?
I do. I really do.
Is it best of 7 or best of 5? I don't know.
I assume it's a best of 5, but if it's a
Right.
best of 7, that'd be quite the treat.
Even better.
That would be quite the endurance matchup.
Yeah, I guess best of 7 would be a lot.
It could be a best of 7. That'd be really cool to watch.
All right, so Cloud9 is his champion. Either way, he wants that trophy coming back to NA, but he's gonna stick with his roots, root for Cloud9. I'm gonna take you back real quick. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Let's go to Group. I'm gonna leave Group A out of it because that's the easy way out for you. I think Elite 8 and Red, Candace or Pain or whatever they are, like those will switch off and on for second and third. But I want to hear out of your Group B, C, and D, Team Kraken, Impunity, and Hunters, which team of those would be maybe an underdog team that would maybe knock out one of those quote unquote confirmed second spot teams.
I think that the only hope comes through Team Kraken. I don't know much about them as a team, but I just think that based on their bracket, they're the only ones that are really capable of taking another team's spot. I think it would be quite funny if G2 didn't make it past the group stages.
Oh, no.
So I'm just going to give Team Kraken the edge there. In terms of some underdog coming through, I don't know if I'd necessarily say they're the best out of those three teams, but they definitely have the best chance at beating out one of the one or two contenders and switching spots with them.
All right.
Yeah, there's no way that Hunters is taking down TSM or Ace, and there's no way that Impunity is taking down Tribe or Rocks. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's probably the best answer on the table, unless you go with the Group A situation where I feel like 1 is confirmed and 2 and 3 will be kind of a toss up. But When we look ahead towards Worlds, obviously in the past history of Worlds, that's when kind of new things are thrown out there meta-wise. The Kashka in 2016 from Rocks, that was kind of determined as the best pick. And, going into each live event, sometimes heroes are just pulled out that people didn't really prepare for, and they just become OP. So as the analyst, as anything you've seen for 2.10, because we will be on 2.10 for Worlds, is there any heroes that you think that a lot of people are, keeping low key, but are going to be really strong going into Worlds that you would like to see?
The two heroes I think that are really going to be coming out is Lorelei and Churnwalker. We haven't seen a whole lot of them, but I do think that they're very, very strong picks, especially when executed with a well-coordinated team. Some of the combos and compositions that are going to be able to come out through using those heroes are going to be pretty insane. We're going to see Lorelei-based buff comps, using her barrier to keep heroes alive, such as Blackfeather, maybe even some Grubshaw. I think it'll be really cool to see how the meta evolves over the course of Worlds. Is what it starts off with in the group stages isn't going to be what it ends with in the finals. I think that's the beauty of Worlds, that really breaks down a meta that you think you understand and devolves it into a whole other tier of picks and heroes that start to come out. I may say that I know the meta right now, but by the end of Worlds, people are going to decisively choose a whole other meta to go with. But I think it'll be really cool. There's very, very good chance that we'll see all the heroes pulled out. I'm sure we'll even see some Saw here.
Oh, yeah. Maybe some Flicker. Flicker was big last Worlds, I think. So,
see, if a team's going to pull out Flicker, I'm going to guess it's TSM.
Right.
I think TSM, they have a lot of good Flicker comps that I know that they can execute. I know Flash is a good Flicker. So I'd love to see him pulling out that Flicker at Worlds.
All right, so let's look towards the future. The future is, I would say, bright, exciting. 5v5, the showcase match will be right before the grand finals, I believe. Do you have anything you would like to say, talk about when it comes to the 5v5 release? Anything maybe you're most excited about specifically?
Well, I have played the 5v5 on PvE, and it is spectacular. So I'm very, very excited for it to hit the public, and I really want to see what it does to the competitive scene. I think it'll be a really cool opportunity to grow the competitive scene that we have currently. It'd be nice to see new organizations jumping in, see new players make it into the pro scene, and see what some of the top teams can pull off, adding a few new members, and how quickly we're able to adapt to that new 5v5 meta. It's a whole new world of mystery for us to explore. I think it'll be really cool as a community going through that. So definitely a lot of hype around it, and it's much deserved hype. I honestly can't wait to get back into VG and playing all the time once it hits, even though I've got a lot of schoolwork to get done. I'm definitely going to be making time to fit in those 5v5 games.
Fair enough. Yeah, 5v5 is going to be pretty awesome. Future for you, though, Echo Fox, excited to see maybe them come back through, once 5v5. I guess there's a lot of questions still. There's really not much to talk about until we find out when 5v5 starts and how teams will adjust to that. But at the time recording this, you are with Echo Fox, so I guess
yes, sir.
Good luck in the future with Echo Fox.
Thank you very much.
I think that's all we have. Thank you so much for coming on the episode. It's really fun hearing your picks. Really fun hearing who you're rooting for. If you would like to, real quick, shout out your own Twitter, maybe where people can follow you and keep up with all the crazy stuff you do.
Yeah, hit me up on Twitter at BrutalTurtleVG. My DMs are open. If you ever just want to talk, slide in. We can have a chat. I'm very friendly. I don't bite usually. So yeah, definitely come in and hit me up sometime. I'd love to talk about anything Vainglory related.
All right, we really appreciate you coming on. Have a good rest of your day, man.
Thank you very much for having me. It was an honor to finally be on the show.
Yes, you need.
We appreciate it.
This needs to happen more. I know your schedule is insane. Being a college kid, I understand the pressure of school and tests and all that stuff. But we got to get you on more to maybe talk about more esports in the future.
I definitely would love to be back.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, see ya. Thank you.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was brought to you by VGPRO.gg. That is one of the best API statistical websites Vainglory has to offer. Whether you are a pro, a casual member, they host all your stats and statistics when it comes to your post-game history, all the matches you play, casual, ranked, blitz. It gives you breakdowns of your victories, your losses, help make you a better player. Of course, right now the bracket challenge is going on. Make sure you sign up, get a chance to win some great prizes if you pick enough of the correct teams. Maybe pick the winner. But that's all we have for this episode. Thanks again.
Thanks for tuning in to Time for Rolling. If you liked what you heard, please leave a review on iTunes or Google Play Music and subscribe for weekly episodes. Follow us on Twitter at Time for Rolling and at TFR_eSports. Until next week for another edition of
Time for rolling.